He's on the brakes.
He's on the brakes. Is it turning around?
This could be a...
Is it turning around? Hello one and all and welcome to Seen Through Glass and welcome to... Oh no, I've just broken my GoPro, hold on. What? Hold on. Let's see if that works.
Gone.
Welcome to my first time ever driving a Lamborghini Aventador. It just so happens to be an SV. I have bought resident Lamborghini expert and aficionado Paul Wallace from Supercars of London to join me on this adventure. I do have an idea of what to expect, but I'm slightly terrified. What do I do with the key?
Whatever you want, my sir.
Just hold on to it.
Whatever your expectations are of this thing are wrong.
Okay, let me first just confess the fact that I don't really fit.
Nope.
Nope, don't really fit in it.
I thought you wouldn't.
It's a very bizarre visual experience. I've got a really narrow windscreen that seems to be 3 miles away from me. We're very low, very wide, and I guess the only thing we can do is start out right. That's yeah.
Yep.
Oh, straight to sport. Now this is quite a tricked out Lamborghini SV Aventador. Well, I'm nervous. It's not a standard car. It's been fettled with and modified. It's got a Larini exhaust, various other setup changes. So quite a crazy car for me to have my first ever Aventador experience. Oh, I'm rolling. Oh, there we go.
This is going to be so interesting.
One of the most famous things about the Aventador is the fact that it's got a single clutch gearbox and not a very good turning circle. Oh my, that's a gear change. How do I go into manual? Okay, so here we are. So yes, the gearbox, famously single clutch, which means that the shifts are quite slow and not that smooth.
Aggressive.
Yeah, apparently it's part of the character.
Yep.
The soundtrack is already insane. They haven't gone beyond 3,000 RPM. Ride is quite firm. I feel like I'm driving a truck. It is so wide. Oh, that downshift. Oh. Now this car, you would have to say, is possibly one of the most iconic of our generation. It is the poster car. It is in every single rap music video that I haven't seen. And I've never ever driven one. I've only ever been in the passenger seat one once.
That's mad because you've driven so many amazing cars and so many new cars, yet you haven't driven what is arguably the best car.
Well, the best is subjective, but one of the most iconic maybe. Now, we're just coming out of this town, so I guess I can start to open it up ever so slightly. Noise is just absolutely nuts. Here we go. Right, let's accelerate. Oh, I freaked out. I freaked out.
You've got so much more.
It started to take off and I freaked. Here we go. Here's a bit of a story. Oh my god. Oh my good lord. This thing takes off. But it takes off like past 5,000 RPM. I already thought we were going quick and then it went again.
That's the V12.
That's the V12. This is, I mean, I feel like I'm driving a bull. Literally, I mean, this is,
you feel alive.
Absolute animal. My heart is racing
so is mine.
So fast. Oh, what's that plank This is one of the craziest car experiences. Good lord. Good lord. It's really hard hard to put this into words. I realise at the moment my entire video is me screaming and laughing and looking at fully playing myself.
The V12 Lamborghini. I think my phone's fallen.
I think my arse has fallen out. Oh,
Whoa.
this is, it's like the most unique experience I've ever had in a car.
Yeah, it is so difficult to really try and. It's like nothing else.
It is literally like nothing else. It's kind of everything I hoped it was going to be.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, of all your sort of ideas of what an Aventador must be like to drive, it basically is. It's kind of brutal. It's pretty full on. It sounds incredible. It's a little uncomfortable. You don't really fit. You're sat at a weird angle, but it's just brilliant. I get it. I get it. I understand.
You get it?
I get it.
Now that is coming from a Ferrari nutter.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Where's an indicator?
Yeah, like right down by your knee.
How do I turn around this thing? Oh, he's gone there. Let's do that as well. Because I'm not gonna, like, I found out the turning circle on this. I'm never gonna make that.
It's so against everything that should be in a car, if you know what I mean. Like, a car is specifically, or was invented to bring a person from A to B.
Yes, I mean, and this isn't about that at all. This is just about tingling every single sense and emotion that you have. You know, I'm so exhilarated.
Are you more exhilarated? Have you ever felt more exhilarated driving a car?
I'm not sure I have. Because, okay, as you just mentioned, I'm the biggest Ferrari fanboy.
Yeah.
You arguably are the biggest Lamborghini fanboy.
Yeah.
This is such a different driving experience to a Ferrari, where a Ferrari is all about, I guess, smooth and agile and beautiful emotion, and this is just, this is just, oh my god, that exhaust as well. But it's like someone's taking a sledgehammer, an Italian sledgehammer made out of salami, to my face. Oh, it's a roller coaster.
I don't really know what to say. I've passengered in a few of these cars before, but this is such a special occasion to experience your first ever driving an Aventador with you.
Oh my god, I love it. I actually love it. I was trying not to disturb these lovely people on their Sunday morning, but clearly Lamborghini man, you're like, oh, make it sound amazing.
The differences between an SV to a standard Aventador is the suspension is a lot firmer because obviously it needs to be flat. This is the track version.
Sure.
You've got weight reduction.
Okay.
So you feel like you are more with the car inside because of the materials in here make you feel like you're much more connected to the car than the standard Aventador. Obviously it's lighter, it's up on power, the steering rack's better, the gear shifts are much faster, and we haven't actually experienced Corsa, which will give you a migraine every single gear shift.
Okay.
But the SV and the Aventador is a massive improvement in terms of drivability and the driving pleasure. I feel like the early Aventadors weren't that refined. and did get quite a lot of stick for being a really awful driving experience.
Yes, well that's always what I'd heard, you know, that there's a bit of a pig and the gearbox is awful and it's just a bit uncomfortable and it's all about show.
Yeah.
That's what I think that's the common stereotype amongst car people, that Aventadors are just for show. It's about pulling up at the club. Can I go again? Please! We have very kindly been provided this car by its owner today.
Who is a hero.
Who is an absolute hero and is in his stunning McLaren 720S, which Paul is going to be filming a little bit later. But for now, we are going to attempt Corsa Mode.
Yeah.
Because as I said, you know, that stereotype of an Aventador as being a car to turn up with the clubs in is kind of put to shame by this car, or my experience with this car right now.
Go on, nail it.
Oh my god! Oh my... I mean, this is not... Oh, there's the policeman.
He's on the brakes.
He's on the brakes. Is he turning around?
This could be a...
Is he turning around?
I don't know.
I mean, we must have been coming up that road way too quick. Wow.
So in Corsa Mode, everything stiffens up even more than it was in Sport Mode. But the gear shifts basically eradicate any part of clutch wear and just go... and they just slap into gear rather than preserve the clutch, and it's just...
Immediately the ride is bumpier, the steering is heavier, we're getting much more overrun on the exhaust. But you are so right, it's the power delivery, not only the way it picks up speed, but those gear changes are just absolutely ridiculous.
And the mad thing is, with this car being so big, so wide, so heavy, and having a massive V12 strapped to it, through the corners, I've never got more than 30% of the car's capability in grip, but it can grip unbelievably. Oh! I think saliva just came out of my mouth.
You know what I find quite interesting though, is it's not got that kind of immediate torque.
No,
and I guess because it's a naturally aspirated engine, you really do have to sort of rev it out. And therefore, you're carrying a lot more speed than you realise, because it's not always there. It's really in the top end, I find.
Yeah, well, the difference between an Aventador and a Huracan, if you were to do a 0 to 150, they'd be very similar in time, because all of the power is almost immediate in the Huracan, whereas this, you really need to rev it out. But past 150 is where the extra cylinder's in this, and it continues to go.
I'm literally going to have spinal issues. I am going to have spinal issues. What an absolutely crazy experience. I cannot believe I've waited this long to experience this car, and my first experience of an Aventador is a highly tuned SV.
Give me the thumbs up.
Give me the thumbs up.
People love a Lambo. Now, is there a message to the lovely Tony at Gravelwood, having now experienced a V12 Lamborghini, which has many imperfections, which Tony so kindly likes to talk about quite a lot? Have you got a message for Tony? Because I know he's watching.
Tony, we were wrong. Tony, we were wrong. Well, if today wasn't ridiculous enough, my first time ever driving a Lamborghini Aventador, I'm now getting into a 720S, and an absolutely stunning 720S, but I'm not going to talk about it because I've got some 720S things coming up, and that will be the opportunity to discuss these cars. But yes, how can I sum up my experience driving an Aventador for the first time? That car doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I've had such preconceptions as to what it was going to be like. Quite a lot of stereotypical sort of comments about, you know, it being cumbersome and slow and heavy and wide, and it is all those things, but it doesn't really matter. I've genuinely texted Tony from Gravelwood saying, Tony, we have misunderstood these cars. He thinks I'm an idiot, but it's the fact that it's so brutal and so aggressive and sounds so amazing that you feel so much through your body. Things vibrate, things shuffle, you get kicked in the back, the sort of steering wheel is moving, and it feels almost like a different generation of supercar. Getting in this now, I know we're still just parking still, but you know, this is a car that's faster and better, arguably, than the SV, but it's not a car that I'd want more than that SV. And that's a ridiculous thing for me to say. I would want a Lamborghini Aventador SV, something I never thought I would say. I'm not sure quite why Paul's taking so long to start this car up and get moving. I was hoping to do this outro dynamically, but it's turning out to be a static outro. But yes, I'm sorry if I was screaming like a little girl throughout that entire video, but I wanted to capture my first ever experience properly as the first ever experience. I thought it would be a cheat if I drove the car beforehand and then tried to fake it on camera. So all of those reactions were genuine reactions. There we go. The Aventador has now finally started up with that Larini exhaust, and hopefully we can get moving. Yes. So I'm massively thankful to the owner of both of these cars for organising this day, allowing this day to happen. And it's definitely one I won't forget for a while. God knows when I would next step into an Aventador, because it's taken me 28 years to do so. But it's been an eye-opening experience. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. I hope you've put up with my screaming. Give it a thumbs up if you have, and make sure to subscribe for plenty more videos to come.